Want to give a big shout out to Selkirk TV and my man Cooper Deck for putting this clip together. This is the men's final. We got Collin and AJ playing Matt and Rye in the San Clemente Open. Let's check it out. All right, we got Matt serving to Collin there. Rye taking the drop in the middle. Get moving the ball around a little bit. Rye's using his two-hander. Top spin's trying to beat AJ slice there. AJ loft one, maybe baited Rye in. As we see here, he kind of naturally realized that he added probably a bit too much lift to this dink. He slid middle, pinched. If you guys notice here, he recognized that Collin was sliding. This is something that Collin and Ben do so well. Ben pinches middle with his forehand. Collin slides, takes the backhand, but Collin slides out towards the sideline. Slide, hands battle, block, speed up. That's a pretty good forehand. Beautiful block by AJ. The ball's back behind him too. Lob. Wright does a lot of things well on that right side. Likes to speed up line, speed up towards that person's hip, or he can go lob with it. Take a look at you know, a lot of the right side specialists. Collin, Matt, myself. You know, who else is in that mix? Pat Smith. Generally, you know, there's three different types of attacks. You can speed up line, you can speed up in front of you at the person's hip and try to jam them, or you can throw that lob cross court. We got AJ serving to Matt. Matt and Rye are unwinding here. Matt puts the return on AJ. That way AJ has less angle. AJ's, as we see there, yes, it makes sense for Collin to come in and disconnect and cause a little visual pressure for Matt there. But, you know, if the drive is too high, then as we see there, Collin's just kind of a sitting duck in the middle of the court. So got to get that drive down. Rye drives the backhand. Matt comes in to poach. AJ speeds up with two hands. Hang on real quick. Something we should note here. AJ does this so well. He's able to slide and really get a lot of space and be able to kind of punch balls out, or just defend and get balls back by catching balls back behind him on that right hip or inside of zone 3 and 4. Boom. Speed up. Sick defense by Rye, buying himself time. Rye's driving, Matt's there, punches, gets one down. Okay, another example here. AJ is not going to chase trash. This man is not known to be trashy, as Hannah Johns knows. And with that being said, he knows how much time he has. He buys himself a little time, lets the ball sit up, uses his sly, gets jammed. Now we're back to neutral. Oh, pops one up. Rye's blocking. Matt's ready. Beauty. But what got himself back in the point there was Rye was in transition, threw up a couple floaty blocks, bought himself some time, got in. AJ went at Matt. Matt was ready. And Rye and Matt ended up winning the hands battle. Good. And as we see here, we see a lot of returns going to Rye. Why? I played with Rye for the last 2 years, and something that most people did not know the first year that we played together was that Rye is a very good disconnector, and probably one of the best attributes to his game is to be able to disconnect and bake off of his partner's shake. With that being said, year 2, I did not see too many thirds. They ended up putting the return on Rye. Rye hit most of the thirds, and why is because Rye is very dangerous with his disconnect. So that's why we're seeing a lot of returns over to Rye. So even though Rye may have a better third than Matt, it makes more sense to just get them up at the kitchen line and not lose points in a shake and bake fashion. Sick hands by Collin. Sick. Great point here. Buys himself. Oh. Let's watch that again here. Drop, buys himself some time again, pops it up. As we see here, Collin is cleaning up AJ's mess. Gets one down on a dime, sick, turns defense into offense. Punch. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. This is pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, does not get better than that. CJ at his finest right there, baby. Nice. Pushing him back. Ryan, Matt are back playing D. Matt throws one up. Throws one up. Gets one down. Matt's got some pretty sick feel. Throws another one up. Drives. Drop. Tries to be the hero there. You don't have to be the hero, Mr. Wright. You did plenty though. Okay, so take a look here. Take a look here. For all the viewers out there, even though you're not supposed to swing in transition, if you see that you've hit kind of a floatier drop and you see that your opponent's overextended on their fourth and they're maybe chasing trash, generally this ball gets popped up. Collin sees that. Collin makes the adjustment, comes forward, swings, and then look at his weight transfer and look at his court position from here. Close, look to be aggressive. These guys are still playing great D. Okay, and something that is very smart out of AJ and Collin here is that they keep the offense over on Matt and force Matt to play good defense. We all know that Rye can play good defense. So it makes sense to put the ball on the person that can't defend as well, even though, as we see here, Matt's defending very well. Gets one down. Throw the lob up. Drive. Something we talk about during camps and something that we mention a lot during educational videos is, as you're back playing D, continue to lob. If you're back playing D and you don't have much time to work with. But once you realize that your opponent, maybe your lob is a little better, maybe it pushes them back, maybe it keeps them on their heels, or maybe it just gets them off balance. But if you recognize that the overhead is coming back with not as much authority, great time to then drive back. Generally that drive produces a shorter volley. Then you can dump and come in and look to get up and establish. But as we see here, Matt threw up like 4 or 5 lobs. Now he's dealing with a ball. Hang on real quick. Now he's dealing with a ball that doesn't have as much zing on it. Drive, short volley, drop, pops the drop up a little bit. Sick, and then tries to be the hero with the poach there. Great example of good D. Come on now, Collin. Let's take a look at that. All right, so Collin actually used this a ton, and I think Collin knew that Rye was going to test him and Rye was going to come at him. And Collin actually does like to drop in front of him. So watch here. Collin will drop in front of him. He sees that Rye's coming. He gets ready to punch. He slides. Beauty. Down the middle. Nobody's home. Floats one. It's short. Bound to be a drive. Gets that punch down and says, don't bring that two-hander here, mister. I've got it handled. The CJ special. Look at this. Purposely, I don't know about purposely, but floats one, gets the hands ready. Take that, Mr. Wright. A pickle petty down in the shoelaces. But as we see here, more often than not, the drive is setting up a short fifth. So as we see here, the drive is enhancing, or the third ball drive is enhancing the fifth. So you can drive your third, get a shorter reply, and then drop your fifth. Looks like they're working Rye here, trying to pull Rye out, move him around a little bit. Yeah, it's a pretty good ball. AJ went a little too wide. But as we see here, looks like AJ is getting isolated. Anytime AJ has time, he dinks cross. If he doesn't have time, he's going towards Matt's inside foot or Matt's left foot. Middle. Doesn't have as much time. Inside foot. Doesn't have as much time. Inside foot. So both Collin and AJ are dinking middle here. Wide, and Collin is not there to defend the ATP. Yep. Okay, so Wright tries to come in and close here. Probably tries to come in a bit too aggressively. AJ gets this one down. Like the idea of turning defense into offense. But as we see here, floats that, gets this one down. AJ's extra aggressive. Wright tries to come in. Now Matt's in trouble there. I like the idea of coming in and closing if you can take a ball out of the air in yellow or green, but once it starts getting below your knees, it's tough to flick that and then get your hands up and ready for the next one. Speed up line. Oh, Collin special. Look at the D. I mean, what does it take to win a stinking point out here? That's pretty good. Hands ready. Oh. Drop. Come in. Speed up line. Okay, time here. So when he speeds up line, and we're talking about right side specialist earlier, when he speeds up line, he hadn't gone there. Wright doesn't see it, and one thing that we do know is that if the counterattacker doesn't see it, usually the counter comes right back to where the speed up started. So Wright doesn't see it. Collin started forehand, re-countered forehand. Matt floated one. Collin then finds another forehand, swats at it. These guys go back, play D. Something that is very well known here is that anytime Matt and Wright get in a bad spot, they buy themselves some time. They trust their defense. Matt will, if Wright's back playing D, Matt will kind of stagger and just kind of hang out either in mid-court transition or short court transition and kind of dare AJ and Collin to go at him. Wright gets that one down, has a look and misses it, but overall a great point. Speed up. Oh, now look at that. Oh, look at that. So he went middle, and something we know is that generally wherever you speed up, it goes right back to the same spot. Collin goes middle, puts it in front of AJ's forehand. Matt hits the backhand, goes to AJ's forehand. Nobody's home. Good night. Speed up middle, clean up middle all day long.